All right, well, that brings us to our main event for tonight. So we have someone who reached out to me, in fact, a little while back, and his name is Clarence Ling. So he's waiting in the wings there. He works with his company is Athletics. He is a qualified lawyer. So he's got an LLB and he has been a practicing lawyer. And he has also sort of moved, having had that position, he spent a considerable number of hours and days and weeks and months there working with lawyers to help them with their advertising. So if anyone knows anything about marketing for lawyers, it is a very expensive proposition. So, some of the pay-per-click ads there, whether it's on Facebook or through Google ads, they're very expensive ads there. So and it's a reasonably competitive market, but Clarence's expertise there, and using something a wee bit differently, has really got their cost per click and the return on their investment right down to something that is a lawyer, not even lawyers would consider cheap, that we would consider cheap as well. So he's very good at what he does. One of the mediums that he does use is video marketing, and he's used that video marketing in sort of advertising. And in client outreach as well too, and he's got two arms to his or strings to his bow. One is the video side of things, and the other one is LinkedIn outreach, which he's also mastered as well. But tonight he's here to talk to us about videos, how to use it effectively in your marketing and in your client outreach. So let's put your hands together and welcome to the screen, Clarence Ling.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yes.
Can hear you loud and clear. Yes.
All right. So I want to do things, I don't know whether it's differently here or not, but I want to take questions from the floor whenever possible, but I think we should organize it a little bit better. Raise your hand either physically or with the Zoom thing if you want to ask a question. Okay, like that. Do you have a question, Neil?
No, I was just putting my hand up for you.
Okay, but if you do that, it's going to be easy for me to start answering questions. I can't really see the chat properly in this setup. I've got 3 screens set up here, but I want questions to come as the presentation goes on, because if you hold the question too late, I feel that we might miss out on a bit of gold there in terms of the questioning. So I'm happy to take questions along the presentation. I might not answer it immediately, but I'm happy to take it if you raise your hand, either like this, or if you use the raise hand option on Zoom. And I'll be able to see you on that screen over there. So that's why I don't always look at the camera. Okay, so can you see my screen? Yes. You can see my screen, everybody? Yes. Okay. So what you will learn. So online advertising has a cost per lead or cost per sale problem. Whether it's e-commerce or lead generation, a big problem that people face is the cost of acquiring new clients or new customers on the online platforms. And advertising is not as high returning as it used to be. I'm going to show you proof that this method is reliable. I will show mostly lawyers, but I'll prove it to you that it works for anyone who has a transactional service or product. And then I mentioned a bit about who we are, why we're different, and why it's not just all about ads, and why we go against the grain with longer videos. And I'll explain a bit what's inside the Marketlytics 1K setup, video setup that you will receive as a PDF attachment in this Zoom call. And the testing strategy that I'm going to describe, there's 7 techniques, but regardless of whether you're making a long video or short video, the testing strategy is available to you for a framework for you to structure the scripting. And that's a key thing about the way we do things. It's about the messaging. It's about the scripting that really drives people to make the sale. Okay, so the problem of cost per lead is very, very severe. Look at this. So it says cost per conversion here, right? That means every lead, okay? This is a lead. This is not a case. It's not cost per sale, it's cost per lead. And lawyers pay anywhere from $274 to $400 to $628. Okay, it's very, very high on Google for lawyers. And it's not isolated to just lawyers. This is a building inspector in Perth. Look how much he's paying per lead, and look how little leads there are for his budget. Many businesses are advertising to lose money, not to make money. They don't know it, or they don't realize it, and they just let it go on and on and on. And it's just a loss-making exercise. They'll never ever recoup their money, no matter how hard they try, especially if it's on Google and you are in an industry or niche that's difficult. And SEO is not a guarantee either, because there's only 10 organic spots for SEO. If you cannot be the top 10 winner, you're almost a loser, unless you can get complementary keywords that are not the main keyword but still get you traffic. So can you afford to pay like a lawyer? Can anyone afford to pay like a lawyer here? I'm assuming not. Okay. So leads on Google are no longer cheap for many businesses, not just lawyers. Many trades or any business, even digital marketing agencies, are paying through the nose, especially since the AI-driven competition is actually making it worse. It's not making it better. Did you know that I can punch into AI a Google ad, and Google will say the score is excellent? So the ease of creating a text ad on Google that has an excellent score is nearly zero. It's very easy to make good ads on Google, and it's very hard for people to stand out as a result, because if everyone's ads are good, who is better? So this is one of our clients who is a migration law firm, and they had 579 leads at $5.02 a lead. And this service, if done as a decision-ready service, can cost $5,000 plus GST. So they got a really good return and rate of conversion for these leads. And one thing I will have to say about the leads that you get off social media, not all of them convert immediately, but I've had clients who convert the same list of leads for 2 years. So unconverted leads are not necessarily, they'll just convert later. And you can grow your email list very efficiently and fast using social media marketing and video advertising. And divorce is not an easy thing to sell, but this is what we got for a family lawyer. Okay? And that resulted in 20 first consults. This first consult cost 300 plus GST. So even before they secured the client, they scored 20 initial consults, 300 plus GST. That more than makes up for their ad spend on Facebook, which is not very much at this rate. And they got lots of clients from it. And this is one of our worst results, okay? This is a personal injury lawyer in Queensland. Anyone here from Queensland? Okay, did you know there is a law called PIPA in Queensland, the Personal Injuries Proceedings Act? So in the PIPA regulations, you are not allowed to use any graphics, no graphics and no video, except for the prescribed exceptions. So the fact that we can get a result like this and beat someone who is having an easier job, where it's double our cost, means that we're doing something right. And you could do it again and again and again and again. And you don't have to be a lawyer to benefit from what I do. As this is a analog media conversion campaign. So it's basically converting tapes and photo slides into digital or even film. So as long as the service is transactional, it can be advertised by video on social media effectively, and your cost per lead and therefore cost per sale is going to be very low if you do it correctly. So who are we? We are ambidextrous PPC specialists. So what I mean by that is that we can handle both search engine and social media. We're pretty good at Google, despite the fact that it's difficult to get a low cost per lead We do work with other SEO companies and other web development companies to deliver Google Ads because we do not have an in-house web development arm, but we are able to work on Google for certain industries where it makes sense. And we obviously use Meta or Facebook. And one thing that we use that's less common is LinkedIn. And why would you want to use LinkedIn? If you want to target people based on job demographics. And we generally help transactional businesses, and we're obviously video marketing specialists. So what makes us different? We actually have a testing strategy. So every time we launch a campaign on social media, we have 16 ad variants from the get-go, including images. Okay? Most of our competitors have a slow feed. So what a slow feed means is that you might have 2 or 3 image ads at once, and most of the time it's image only, and they feed 2 or 3 more later, and they feed 2 or 3 more later. So as a result, there's a lot of work to do on social media advertising for these agencies, just updating the campaign. Whereas we have a very extensive setup, and for us, management's easier and a lot cheaper because we over prepare with the 16 ad variants in one campaign. So if you have 2 campaigns, you're probably going to get 32 variants, for example. We always over prepare because that means that the content lasts longer and the content is more effective, because if there's enough variation testing for social media advertising, right, it drops the lead cost dramatically, as you can see from all the results. And we nearly have 100% success rate in obtaining cheaper leads than our competitors. Most agencies need 3 months, especially in Google Ads. If you go to a Google Ads specialist, and if they're honest, most of them will insist on 3 to 6 months to get optimal results. With this method, we can get results as fast as 1 month in terms of reaching a high level of optimization. So revisiting this again, there was one of our competitors who was doing TPD, and one of the exceptions for the PIPA regulations is doing TPD ads. And they did TPD ads nationally, by the way, which is an easier job because the larger audience will mean that it drives down cost a lot for them. And yet, one of the employees reported to me that they had double our costs. Their cost per lead was double of us, even though they were having a larger population nationwide and they had an easier job than us. So there's something different about the way we do video and the way we set our campaigns from everyone else to get that kind of result. And this is, it's not all about ads. I'm a LinkedIn outreach expert, and this is an AI clone of myself. And I'm about to demonstrate to you about how the AI clone sounds and looks like. And there's a number of giveaways that we have. One of them is a bonus giveaway. I think, Nick, you've received it this afternoon. Yep. It's a bonus giveaway to SailMaker. And SailMaker are my partners to provide me the AI video that I need. And let's have a demonstration.
Hi, Michelle. My name is Clarence Ling from Market Lytics, law firm growth specialists. How are things at Hamilton Locke? I hope everything is going well, but as you would know, running a law firm is challenging at times. Striking that delicate balance between taking on new lawyers and bringing in new work to keep them motivated is always a juggling act.
Sorry, I was just checking the sound.
I should know because I've worked at a law firm myself and experienced this firsthand. There's plenty of legal work to do, I know it, and you know it yet. Still, many lawyers are extremely anxious about finding high-quality clients. Is this what your law firm is experiencing right now? I would like you to share with me your experiences. Thank you.
Okay, now, if lawyers either don't know or don't care about me using AI video like this, and the conversion rate doesn't change, that really says something about how much AI has gone in the realm of video production, especially when cloning your voice. And this is not a perfect cloning of my voice. If you hear it carefully, I sound a little bit more British in this video. but the technology is always improving, and I've got a few videos slightly better than this at a later point in time. So AI videos is really making LinkedIn outreach very accessible, because I used to take 3 hours to record my videos every week. And now I can just do it through the SailMaker, which you'll get my affiliate link there. And this is an example how one of my ads looks like on the platform.
Hi, Michelle. My name.
So this is, now, one thing I like to highlight here is that nobody actually cares about your video. Nobody cares about your video. They don't care about how I look. They don't care about how you look. They don't care about anybody else's video or anybody making a video in general. The thing is that a lot of video marketing these days are reliant on visual hooks. I'm not saying the visual hooks don't work, but the visual hooks are very, very hard to plan, because you keep on having to do more extreme, more special things. And it becomes very, very difficult to keep up with the sophistication of the market when that happens. But over here, we use principle to attract people to watch the video. People have not evolved much further from the days of newspapers. So the way we catch people's eyes in general is by headlines. That way, you do not have to invest in such an expensive or fantastical visual hook, but you still have a hook, and you get them to watch the video. I'll play one of these videos for you now.
Are you planning to separate from your partner, or are you already separated? Did you know that an average separation takes between $50,000 and $100,000 and can take up to 3 years to complete, according to Money Magazine? This is not only a lot of money to spend, but also a long, drawn-out process which might not give you the outcomes you desire. My name is Ante Zorotovich, and I am a Director of Family Law at Free Show Lawyers. We've been helping couples successfully separate for over 42 years. You can think of a successful separation as a team project. A successful separation depends on proper planning, preparation, and negotiation to achieve the outcomes you desire. By taking these steps, you mitigate risk and increase your chances of everything not going all pear-shaped. So why not take the proper steps when it comes to your separation process? When separating from your partner, there are lots of elements involved. Besides your actual separation, there are parenting arrangements, property divisions, spousal maintenance, child support, and family law estate planning issues you need to consider. All these factors may seem daunting, but they are made a whole lot easier when you have proper preparation in place. To help guide you through the right direction, Free Show Lawyers has created a free successful separation guide for you to download. The information within our guide helps educate you on all the things you need to know before visiting us. That way, the whole process is simpler for everyone involved. Fill in the form below and receive your free successful separation guide now.
And that's how we coax people to get a divorce. Well, you can't really coax people to get a divorce. They have to have the desire to have a divorce before they really act on it. But we draw on that desire very easily. And this type of ad got the 20 appointments paid up at 300 plus GST. So you are going to receive, I can't see the chats easily. So if you're distributing it now, it's fine. But what is the Markelytics 1K video setup? So when I started out doing these video ads, I wanted to make it easy for my clients to use it. And a lot of my clients are interstate. So the issue was, how do you make video accessible to people? You make it accessible by using their mobile. And now I've advanced a bit further than just using mobile these days, because in some circumstances, a cheap vlogging camera is going to be more effective than a mobile. But the Markalytics 1K video setup is going to help you get started doing video with your phone. It's got all the tools there and even additional tools. So the basic setup is only about a $1,000 AUD to get all the equipment. There are additional equipment that can be used that will cost more than 1K, but it's not always required when doing these videos. In some circumstances, in the right environment, just the $1,000 equipment set is going to turn your phone into a video camera, and you'll be able to record lots of videos. The only limitation I would say with the mobile is that if the video is too long, there could be an issue with the battery. But this is how we rolled out video across the country without costing the clients the world to get the video. And it's recommending the best in class microphones, whether based on your skill level. So basically, there's a few options that I outline about what microphone to use. If you're more simplistic, there's a simple version. If you're more adventurous or want to try something more complex, I tell you what the latest ones are, and it's only falling short of professional TV microphones. These are the best wireless microphones on the market that you can get. So now we've got roughly half an hour to explain the testing strategy. So the testing strategy is based on the only 7 copywriting angles in existence, okay? Every single script, every single piece of blog or anything you write, it's not just about spoken word. Anything you write is based on 7 copywriting angles. Anything at all is either one of these or combination of these in terms of how you produce the scripting or how you produce the substantive content. And there are 7 of them: intensification, identification, gradualization, mechanization, redefinition, concentration, and camouflage. And this technique came from one of the fathers of copywriting in the 20th century called Eugene Schwartz. And it is the secret to sufficient testing for my video advertising technique, because we pick 4 primary angles at once in every campaign whenever possible. There are certain niches and industries where you might only be able to use 3 angles reliably, but at least that produces better A/B testing than anyone else on the market that I know of. So let's go to a deep lesson now. And please ask questions. Ask questions all the time. No one's asked questions yet, but I'm happy to take questions and provide feedback. So intensification is about intensifying desire. Okay? So let me give you an example, like a perfume ad aimed at women. So if you intensify or focus on their desire to be attractive, that's going to attract them to the video. Okay? So focus on base desires like hunger, attractiveness, even greed is a desire that you can focus on. More basic desires, not something too complex. And then you'll be able to draw people based on the desire that you're trying to bait them with. So identification is appealing to identity roles. So it's like, let me give you an example. Let's say we're selling swimming lessons, okay? So you can appeal to the identity roles of a father, a mother, or just any parent in general, because parents would want to protect their children from the prospect of drowning. See that? That's an identity role you are appealing to. Or if you're a business coach, you need to phrase your messaging around business owners, but phrase it in such a way that would help them identify with their role as a business owner. How does a business owner feel? How does a business owner what are the aspirations of a business owner? That's another thing that you can focus on. Identity roles are not just about like, it can be any identity role, because a business owner, parent, even ethnic or cultural identity roles, like being Chinese or being an American, those are identity roles you can appeal to sell your product or service. Gradualization is the hardest angle for me to describe or explain, because I've seen it before, but I don't use it that often. But it's hard to pull off because it's starting with one small belief and leading to another belief and leading to another belief. So it's like you can't start with a belief that you're trying to challenge, like you're saying, did you know that pigs can fly, for example? But you have to put intermediary beliefs in there to make it believable. Like you can say in the next belief, you might say, we now have the technology to genetically modify pigs. And next belief could be, it's possible to inject bird DNA into a pig. You get what I mean? So it's a logical sequence, starting with something you want to make them believe or make them disbelieve. But you have to lead them on the journey to make them realize that what you're saying is true or false. Or whether if you're disproving a falsehood, you need to disprove it logically. If you are trying to prove something, you need to prove it logically. So it's hard for me to explain, but that's what it is. This is a very advanced technique. But once you understand it, it's very, very easy to do. So people have certain perceptions about certain things. The Eugene Schwartz tells of the story of people who will prefer adjustments to repairs. So in the old days of TV, right? You have to repair your TV. But most people do not have the confidence to repair a TV. So by selling booklets teaching you how to adjust TVs, you buy these books so that you learn how to adjust your television set and essentially repair it. So that's why it's about trivializing something. So in the video just now, where you did the divorce video, you may not have realized it, but the trivialization here in the divorce video is that divorce is about proper planning to prevent poor performance. That's the trivializing metaphor that we're trying to introduce to people to get them to take the divorce. Because we're trying to explain to them, it's not that difficult, it's not that bad, as long as you do proper preparation to prevent poor performance. And that's how we get people to digest certain concepts easier and consume the product or service that you are positioning. So we still have a lot of time. I think there'll be lots of questions after this. Okay. So mechanization is probably the most straightforward way of explaining or scripting things. Okay. Simply explain how it works. What are the 7 steps of getting X, Y, and Z? By simply explaining how something works, you make your service or product consumable. Like how I'm explaining to you how everything that I do works. That will give you an idea about my technique, why my techniques are different, how my technique works, and why it will work for you. So it's very simple, but very, very effective for certain products and services or certain scripting that you're going to do. And this is the easiest one of them all to use. Concentration. Let me give you an example of, it's not necessarily spoken scripting in this case. Has anyone of you, okay, how many people here have heard of Energizer and Duracell? Raise your hands. Energizer and Duracell. No? Jeff, are you saying something? Jeff, did you say something? Did you say something, Jeff? That's okay. Okay, that's fine. I thought Jeff was trying to say something through the microphone. Okay, so in the ads for Energizer, for the Energizer Man and the Duracell Bunny, who wins all the time? It's the Energizer Man, right? Now, I have no idea why the Duracell Bunny never launches an ad to dispute what the Energizer Man is saying. But by the repeated hammering of those animated ads in the 90s, I think most people have a subconscious affinity to the Energizer battery as the longest lasting battery around in the market. And this is not even the best way to exercise a concentration script. But you can see how even if you do not directly mention your competitors, things like Pepsi Cola, like they can make a huge difference in sizing up the competition and eliminating them as viable choices. It's almost like, would you like a migration agency who has only migration agents? Or would you like a migration agency and migration law firm both in one to do your matter that can handle the entire process rather than just simple or moderate things? And camouflage is when the context, such as the industry magazine, the background of the speaker, gives validation. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you make a video and it appears in Master Builders. Okay, you're targeting builders in the network, in your network, and so you make a video for Master Builders. Because your video was featured by Master Builders, right? That gives the validation. But also other things like the background of the speaker can give a lot of camouflage. Like in my case, I used to be a practicing lawyer. So that's why when I do my own advertising for myself to lawyers, I say I'm a lawyer, marketer, and legal consumer. And the legal consumer part, right? Do you know the reason why I mention legal consumer is because I'm signaling to these lawyers that I could be their client or customer. And that makes it far more attractive than my competitors, who some of them are lawyer marketers, but do not mention the fact that they could be customers of the other lawyers. And that's the 7 copywriting angles and how to script it. Now, there's basic things in video scripting that a lot of people might know already, like having a hook, having a call to action. But this is how to create the middle section very strongly. Okay? Because if your content is not strong, not to say you have to have strong language, if the content is not strong in motivating the people viewing it, you will not get the lead, you will not get the sale, or if you do, it's expensive. And that's the importance of having this testing strategy for videos. And the success rate is nearly 100%, as you've just seen by how many lawyers receive low-cost leads. And that it's not just lawyers, but nearly anyone who has a transactional service or product is able to benefit from this testing strategy. And I'll emphasize again that although this is about the content of the video, right? It's not really about how long the video is. The video needs to be as long as it needs to be. And one thing I found about short videos like Reels, and to give you some idea about what I think about Reels, Reels are good at getting a low cost per click. Okay, they're very good at getting a low cost per click because they're very catchy and attractive. But more work needs to be done by the landing page if it's a reel. Depending on the situation, if it's a product-based thing, sometimes the reels are deadly effective. But if you can demonstrate your product's effectiveness in that short amount of time. But for complex services like legal or maybe your business coaching, you need a longer time to be able to give a person the context of content that compels. If you do not give enough context to your content, it will not compel. And it's far easier to do that in a longer script than a shorter script. Not to say that you waffle about, you can be very straight to the point and explain your concepts and whatever you're trying to sell, but people are missing out on the effectiveness of longer scripts. Like, do you know that when marketers to sell to other marketers, the longest video I've seen a marketer use on another marketer is 2 hours. So there's a huge misconception about the length of the video. Okay, short videos good at getting cost per click down, yes, but it leaves the landing page to do a lot more of the work. Longer videos, less work on the landing page, but it takes a certain type of person to finish the video, which could be good or bad depending on what you do. And this is the difference in lead costs because of video. So one of my suppliers runs a music school. Okay, this is a real fact. Okay, this is actual fact. And you can see 6 and 1 there. So when they came to me, they were only using images for their music school advertisements. Okay, and they had a cost per lead of $120. Any music school paying $120 for a lead is not going to make any money. And that's the mistake and the tragedy of so many businesses, because they are advertising to lose money, not to make money. They lose money and they dig themselves into more debt by advertising because they advertise the wrong way. And after they came to me and I implemented video strategies with them, the lowest cost per lead they've got is $20.99 per lead. And on average, it's about $37 a lead, taking into account school holidays, because the school holidays does affect the seasonality of this music school. So even without looking at Google, right? Don't look at Google. Google is definitely more expensive in most cases. Even if you do not look at Google, the difference of using no video and video for social media advertising can be 6 times the cost. Factor of 6. Proven by this case study. So, summarizing the opportunity of using video, and when you use a short video, it's not necessarily bad if your landing page is doing good work. Okay, so I'm not saying short videos are bad and long videos are good. I mean, I like long video, but I deal with complex services. Okay, but you need to take things into context, because if you have a short video and it's not a product, it's a service that's hard to understand, the landing page has to do far more work to get the lead through, to get the sale through. And you can do that actually by doing a video on the landing page anyway, depending on the situation. So the context of the content has to compel. Always craft your collateral and strategy based on the context of the content. There is no strictly fixed rule about use long video all the time or use short video all the time, but knows the advantages and disadvantages of when to use and when not to use, and know what you need to compensate for in your strategy if you do a certain technique. So we have a superior framework, we have superior results, and it's actually further accelerated because of AI tools. And it leads to more profits and less expense long term. Now, I calculated on average, if you operate on a $3,000 ad spend, which is typical for many Google Ads agencies, and a $1,000 agency fee, so $4,000 a month, right? And you stretch it over a 6-month period. So using my technique, there's a saving, but beyond the saving, right? Because it takes 3 months for Google Ads to work, you've pretty much lost 2 to 3 months before you get to that optimum point. By doing primarily social media advertising, you can get results as fast as the first month, which means that the time lost is far less than Google Ads in terms of your campaign optimization. So, I mean, even though the amount of money you spend can be comparable in some regard, and it's not that much different, the fact that you don't burn 2 to 3 months in the beginning makes a huge difference in profitability. And this is the link that I'm going to give to every person on the chat who wants to get one of these strategies. Now, the door price is free. This is not free. There's a 500 plus GST cost, but it's fully rebatable if you take the final service up. So I've also given the link to Nick. He can put it in the chat. This is the one for the people who don't win the door prize. But normally when I do these strategies, there is a bit of cream on top for me to even if you go for on the final service. So let me give you an example. So this here is 500 plus GST, but it's fully rebatable if you take the final service up. That means I give you your money back basically. But normally I charge 750 plus GST. Okay, 750 plus GST, which means that if you get the $500 rebate, I still keep 250 plus GST. Only for business owners smashing it online, I am forgoing that $250 that I keep. It's very important to get the strategy first before you do the video marketing. Because if the strategy is poor, it doesn't matter how much you invest in video marketing, it might not work. It's very important to get the strategy defined and designed first before you launch any campaign. And that takes creativity and a lot of strategic work. So that's why there's a 500 plus GST cost. But if you actually do the advertising, I give you the rebate back. Okay? And our methods of madness is to analyze everything, adapt to the situation, so we achieve. Q&A.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Clarence. Any questions there at all? I know we had one back in chat there. If I just scroll back and see what it is. Someone is asking for, oh, here we go. What's the ideal video app for us to use?
I suggest Clipscribe because now a lot of people have got into the square video and then they'll have a holding square and stuff like that. I mean, that's okay, but Clipscribe or similar, right? It's going to give you the overlays that you need. Like I use the square overlay almost exclusively because it fits in most formats on Meta. But you can also adapt it to specifically for reel. So you can have a long reel actually. So if your video is, let's say, 2 minutes long, right? you can use Clipscribe to adapt the formatting so you get long reel. I don't know how, I can't describe it or show it to you here because I don't often use the reels format, but it will take up the space of the reel and be fit to that format. There probably are a few more pieces of software similar to Clipscribe, but the one I use is Clipscribe. If you just want a quick video editing tool that's simple to use, I do not recommend you use DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Pro or any of that because that's too advanced. For the average person, Descript is very, very good at cutting out ums and ahs and getting some basic captions if you're not using Clipscribe to produce the captions. Yeah.
That first one, Clarence, what was it?
Clipscribe. So
Do you
like video clip and scribe, like a scribe,
So CLIPSCRIBE.
yeah, .com.
Clipscribe.com. Someone just asked for the link, so I just dropped that in there. Oh, it's cut the link there. Let me try that again. And while I'm doing that, any other questions or comments, feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Or pop your hand up.
Clarence, it's Con. How are you?
Hi, Con. How's it going?
Sailmaker. Is that sort of some sort of a HeyGen and Synthesia had some a relationship and they came up with Sailmaker because it looks very similar to something like a HeyGen Synthesia.
I never heard of HeyGen before, but I've heard of. I forgot what it's called. I use SailMaker so much that I forgot about the GAN AI. Yes, so it's very similar to GAN AI, but it's a much more smaller company, so you get more personalized service, and it's not as polished a product as GAN AI, but it's far cheaper. It's like about 8 to maybe 10 times cheaper than GAN AI, and they're very, very aggressive, trying to expand aggressively. They're big. They come from New Zealand, and one of the engineers is actually from Kazakhstan, but he studied in New Zealand. So I would say for cost reasons, it's far more effective to use SailMaker than GAN AI, unless you're going to pay 500 AUD a month for GAN AI, and that's just one seat.
So the videos you showed us, you created them in SailMaker?
The outreach videos I made are used with SailMaker. Good. So one thing I need to explain here is this. Now, AI video has gone a long way, especially the cloning part. It's going to get better and better. It's quite close already, but it's good. But the thing is that for long videos or videos like above 2 minutes, it's quite mechanical and repetitive to use any of these tools, whether it's GAN AI or SailMaker or similar. And it's not going to have that holding power of a actual recorded video.
Yep.
So I generally only use that kind of AI video for outreach, or if I just have a short message and I can't make it in time to make my weekly video on LinkedIn.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. I would use it in LinkedIn too. That's right. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
All right. Any other comments or questions or anything you want to ask at all? Actually, I've got one question, Clarence, and that is when it comes to call to action from video. Do you have any comment on, what's the best sort of call to action? Because I noticed the lawyer that you showed, the divorce lawyer, his call to action was to download a free guide. But is there any rule of thumb that you use?
There is actually a framework that I didn't show here that basically is a 5-stage framework. And depending on the awareness stage of the prospect, you use that offer. Okay, so the offer you use has to depend on the awareness stage of the person you're targeting. Not okay, and that's why for lawyers it's very, very bad, absolutely terrible to use a free 15-minute consultation as a call to action for a cold audience. The reason being, they aren't educated enough or aware enough to use the free consultation properly. And therefore, there are a lot of tire kickers. And you waste a lot of time even an audit is not really that appropriate at that stage. I mean, depends what audit it is, maybe. But and the other factor is the complexity of the service. So if you are an electrician and all you're doing is electrical work, or you're an electrician who works on evaporatives and all you're doing is fixing evaporatives, then the call to action can be fairly direct. Like, just book a meeting with me and I'll come and fix stuff. So you don't need a lead magnet for an electrician. So you have to take into account the market sophistication and the awareness stage you're targeting. Jeff, you got a question?
I have. I'm a bit lazy. Can you make, on those videos with the cloning, I want to reach out to, say, 5 different industries. Can I make a generic clone and then put a clip at the front and say, hey, with your lawyer service, hey, with your restaurant service, hey, with your dental, can I do it that way?
It uses text to generate the words, so technically you can.
Can or cannot?
You can, because you use a text script.
Yeah.
So you can just pre-format different scripts for different industries, and they just generate like that.
Oh yeah, fair enough. They don't take long anyway, right? So
I mean, the generation process takes a while, but doing it doesn't take long.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just a bit lazy. I always try and shortcut stuff where I can. I try and make generic things as opposed to personalized.
Okay, but generating outreach works better if you do personalize it to a degree.
Absolutely, I agree with that too. But we do a lot of it. You know, yeah. I'd rather do 1,000 than 10. That's
okay,
all.
Okay. Come on, got another question.
I'll go live this time, mate, so you can see me. I know you focus a lot on the lawyer space, the legal space. Suppose a question for me is, are other professional services similarly inclined? Do they have a similar mindset? Accountants, financial planners, mortgage brokers? Have you dealt with any of those? And do they have a similar?
I actually avoid the other professional services most of the time. And the reason is because lawyers are very unique in their own way, and they're a bit of a headache, even though they can be clients once they sign up. So I haven't really dabbled too much in other professional services, to be honest, but I'm open to it, and I think it'll work the same way. It's just that you need to create a strategy to match the video marketing beforehand, before it can actually have a chance of working. You know what I mean?
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think that's probably, we're just reaching time, and it sounds like one of the important things. Well, there's a couple of important things that came out of that for me. One is knowing sort of where in the awareness stage that your client or potential prospects are, so you're maximizing the inquiries that you're getting. So you're not dealing with sort of people who sort of asking basic questions. So part of it is about education, having the right sort of education strategy before you're getting the appointment. The other thing I liked about this was your framework, those 7, sort of, what do you call it, copywriting sort of frameworks there for creating the videos.
Yeah, the meat of the videos. I mean, there's another framework or other common frameworks like hook, and then the content and the call to action. That's probably the most, or like AIDA, like attention, interest, desire, action, that kind of thing. But that's not what these frameworks are supposed to do. This is supposed to flesh out the content in a very meaty way so that you've got better A/B testing.
Excellent. Well, hopefully, everyone here's got enough with that and with those frameworks to go and give it a go and give it a try. One of the things with video is that sometimes it feels harder, but often the best parts of doing something like this, and particularly video, is just to get out, give it a go. Best place to do it's on social media, because people don't care. If they don't like your video, they'll just scroll past it and they won't even remember it. So if people were to get in contact with you, Clarence, to find out a bit more about what you do or have any questions, what's the best way to do that?
Sorry about the question. I was just trying to read through the messages. What do you say?
What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Okay, so my contact details are right there. And also, I'm also on LinkedIn. You can easily find me by my name. There's a real estate agent in South Australia by the same name, but you'll be able to find my face easily on LinkedIn if you type Clarence Ling. Also my handle or my URL, my LinkedIn is, I should put it here, but I didn't. but it's big. I put myself as the legal lead magnet. So that's how my URL slug, what my URL slug says. But my phone number is right there. My email is there. That's my personal business email. And it's pretty easy to find me on LinkedIn.
Fabulous. Excellent. All right. Now we do have a door prize for tonight as well too. And that door prize is that strategy session you spoke about earlier, right?
Yeah, but this one is just completely complimentary.
So there's nothing to pay for it. You can go in and get your full strategy there with Clarence. So you've got clarity on where to go. So the way we work this, do you want to unshare your screen there, Clarence?
Yeah.
The way we work this is we've got our wheel of names and everybody's name is in that wheel of names. Now is not the time to disappear or leave early, because if you leave then and we draw your name out, which has happened, then we just go and draw it again until we find someone in the room. All right, so let's spin the wheel and see who our lucky winner is tonight. Just give us a virtual drum roll on the desk in front of you, on your heads, however you do it. And our lucky winner is left the room, Paul Sheaf. It always happens that someone that leaves the room is the winner. I was just having a conversation before he left. He did have to duck out. He's a video guy anyway, so that's all good. All right, well, let's draw this once again. This is our second chance draw. So all of those that have got intention on winning, this is the time to get your intention in. And our lucky winner is Ingrid. Are you still in the room, Ingrid? If you are, just...
Yes, I am.
I can see her waving.
Fabulous. Excellent. I was just going to say, unmute yourself just so I can hear you. Excellent. All right. Well, what we'll do, Ingrid, congratulations on winning. Actually, this is your first time here tonight, isn't it?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Oh, newbie, so wins sort of on the first time. Excellent. So what we'll do is we'll pop you through that link there and connect you with Clarence next or tomorrow, and you can organise that session for the strategy with him. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Fabulous. All right, now someone just asked me a question there. What was there? Any chance of a replay? Got an appointment. Okay, so yes, thank you for asking. There is a replay. This session tonight, if you do want to watch it again, then it will be up on the Smash Go YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. So the link for that, we'll drop that into chat. In fact, it's already there right now. And if you know anyone else that might be interested in it as well too, again, just point them to the YouTube channel. It'll be there tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, just click on the link and go and click subscribe. And when you have subscribed, a little bell will appear. If you click on that, then you'll get a notification as soon as that video has been uploaded. So for those of you who want to watch it immediately, it's also in on Facebook. If you go to my Facebook profile, it'll be there and be in the Business Owner Smashing It Online. So we live stream this out there as well too. So now is a good time to click on the three little dots in chat and save it. So three little dots are either on the top right hand side or down the bottom, depending on what version of Zoom you've got. So if you click on that, you can save it. It'll also give you the link, so it's where it saved it. So if you click on that link, that'll open up that document right away. You'll have all of the links to the Cool Online tools and all of the links through the session. And we've got one other thing too, and that's a PDF document on the $1,000 strategy, or sort of a setup there for your videos as well too. And we'll drop that into chat for you now as well too. So if you have saved the chat, don't worry about that. You can save it again and it'll save it over that as well. All right, so that link to that document is in chat as well too. So that's all free, provided by Clarence as well to help you with your video setup as well too. So if you save the chat now, you'll have everything there that you need from the night. All right, well, look, that just leaves it for me to say thank you, Clarence, for coming along and sharing your wisdom tonight. I know you're very passionate about what you do. Your excitement really comes through, and the information you've given us tonight has been absolute gold. So thanks very much for giving up your afternoon for us tonight.
No problem. No problem.
And for everyone else, thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. And the best thing you can do from tonight is to take action. So information without action is useless, but if you take action and just try sort of some of these things, and particularly one of those 7 frameworks or all of them, then that's what's going to move you forward. Of course, we'll be here again next week at the same time as well. So I look forward to seeing you back here again. And for now, have a great night and see you next week.